flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Annette, can you please take the roll? Mrs. Parenti? Here. Mrs. Schuler? Here. Mrs. Beatrice? Ms. Jeffrey?
Here.
Mrs. Perry? Here. Mrs. Quinn? Here. Mrs. Reynolds? Here. Mr. Doherty?
Here.
Now I'd like to introduce our Spanish interpreter, Ms. Suzette Marie Carter. Hello. Thank you. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meeting of the public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed and acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Board Secretary has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted on the bulletin board located in the hallway outside of the administrative offices. And notice was provided to the Courier News, the Home News Tribune, and the Middlesex Borough Clerk. Sorry, Todd. I forgot you were.
That's all right.
He was here.
He was.
I saw. You went.
Mother Nature's fault.
Okay, we don't have any reason to go into exec tonight, so we will start with our presentations, and our first presentation is the final 2025-2026 budget.
What note is this? E. What note is this? E. Okay, let's play it with the note.
Thank you. To support continued stability, our 25-26 school budget
is put into place for educational excellence. We are using the full allowable 2% tax levy increase. This approach ensures the continued support and stability of all existing educational programs and services. By maximizing available resources within the state mandated cap, the district remains committed to maintaining high-quality instruction, preserving student opportunities, and meeting the needs of the school community.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion on that? I know we discussed a little bit last night. Anybody from the board before I open up the public comment?
Nice job with that.
So now we will have the open public comment, public hearing on the 2025-2026 annual budget. Comments at this time are limited to agenda items only. Please come to the podium and put your name, address, email address, and subject of your comment into the record book. Before speaking, please give your name, address, and subject of your comment to Ms. Annette Giordano, Business Administrator, Board Secretary. Direct your comments and questions to the Board President. You may speak on 2 separate topics for up to 3 minutes each. Okay, I will close the public comment portion of the meeting. The first public, right? Okay, we'll move on to our announcements. So I just have a couple of things, some good things. Our very own Sharon Schuler was nominated for the Middlesex County School Boards Association second VP for legislation. The final vote is to take place at the Middlesex County School Board Association annual meeting. I think that's in May. Yes. So good luck and Sharon is a wealth of knowledge, so it should be an easy choice.
How many people are running against you, Sharon?
So I don't know how many were submitted resumes. This is actually my 3rd or 4th time submitting to the county. This is the first that I've gotten the nomination from the nominee.
Congratulations. Will you find out who's running against?
So it's basically they nominate a slate, and then there can be nominations from the floor if anyone chooses to
Best of luck and be a great
contest.
representative of Middlesex Borough.
We also, I'm excited to announce that we have officially partnered with Big Hugs as another location for our pre-K program for next school year. So that's exciting. And my final thing is that 2 of our teachers, Mrs. Hoff and Mrs. Albanese, have been chosen to have their exemplar instructional practice videos featured on the New Jersey Department of Education website. These videos will be available for educators to view. Congrats to Mrs. Hoff and Mrs. Albanese, and thank you to Ms. Gomez for coordinating this. So we're very excited that our teachers are going to be on the NJDOE website for being exemplar teachers. And that's all I have. We'll move on to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Roberta Freeman.
Good evening. I just want to talk about today, which our sheep is going to go a little bit deeper about. Today was Bring Your Child to Work Day, and I was able to be a part of a scavenger hunt, which is always wonderful and fun. So it was really a great day that our teachers and our staff, that their families got to see what we do every single day. So hats off to our staff and for creating a really fun day for the students. Thank you.
Thank
Do we do
you.
that every year?
Yes.
I know it's the day, but I didn't realize the school.
Okay, now our Business Administrator, Board Secretary, Ms. Annette Giordano.
Good evening, welcome everyone. We have no announcements or updates from the business office. Thank you for being here. It's good to see a full audience. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to our liaison reports. First, our NJSBA Legislative Officer, Mrs. Sharon Schuler.
So the legislative committee did meet. I will send out the minutes of that meeting once we do get that. However, the other job that I do is the delegate to the delegate assembly. So New Jersey School Board's delegate assembly is going to be on May 10th. I am also a member of the resolution subcommittee, so this time, thankfully, we got the documentation before the meeting, so I could have a conversation with you all. There's only 3 resolutions instead of 18 like last time. So real quickly, I'm just gonna let you know, and then I will send you something if you have any questions or concerns, because my vote that I take to the delegate assembly should be the board vote. It's not necessarily my vote. So the first resolution, it comes from Woodbury Board of Education in Gloucester County. And I know we had the gaming, the esports here. Their recommendation is to update the school board's manual of policy and position and policy on education to include the ability for esports to accrue a varsity letter. So that is, the resolution subcommittee did recommend to approve it to go to the delegate assembly and are recommending approval to be added to the manual of positions and policies. The second one is from Franklin Township Board of Education in Warren, and they propose new language supporting the belief that the state should modify the criteria for the school nurse non-instructional endorsement to eliminate the requirement of holding a bachelor's degree and complete the DOE's college curriculum for the preparation for school nurses with a minimum of 15 semester credit hours. The resolution subcommittee did recommend approval for that. And again, I just want to specify that this is, the delegate assembly approves things to go into the New Jersey School Board's manual. It does not do anything with the state except allow New Jersey school boards to advocate for these things. And then the third one comes from Kinnetitty Board of Education from Sussex County. They had one at the last delegate assembly also, but this one is to change the attendance regulations to include state excused absences for students who are completing steps necessary to enter skilled trade professions. It would give them an opportunity to, like you would do a college visit, see some of the different unions, and you may have to take testing, etc. So their last one was about military. This one is about skilled trades. So again, the resolution subcommittee does recommend approval of these resolutions, and I will send these to you. And if anyone has any concern or question that you think we need to discuss before the vote on May 10th, just let me know. But at this point, they seem to be 3 fairly easy things to support. So I think that's all I have. Thank you.
And now our Middlesex County SBA delegate and also our Borough Alliance liaison, Mr. Tom Thornton.
Good evening. Number 4 yet on both the Alliance Committee. Next meeting for the Alliance Committee is May 15th, and the county meeting is May 22nd, which is also our meeting. So I'll be going to the Somerset County meeting, which is next door in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you for stepping up and taking that position.
Now our Middlesex Public Library Board of Education representative, Ms. Erin Gomez.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to talk about something that our librarians are doing in conjunction with the public library, which is to help build the bridge between our libraries. So our librarians with the director of our public library, Mrs. Christy George, and our youth services librarian, Kayla Ward, are working with our schools to come up with challenges for students to do in order to win prizes and raffles, to check out books from the libraries here, but also check out the books from libraries, books from the public library, to be able to get students to come in to get library cards and all those sorts of things going into the summer. I also have a meeting with Mrs. George next week. We're going to sit down and talk about some of the things that we're going to continue to do now that the weather is nicer to connect the school with the public library.
Thank you. And now our student, I can't ever say student representative, Ms. Archdeep Parmar.
Good evening, everyone. You know me, Archdeep Parmar. There it is. No, give me 1 second. Okay. So, good evening once again, and welcome back from the break. I don't have to make it work by my hands. So I want to let you all know that I'll be leaving early today because maybe while you'll be leaving, you'll see the kids are decorating our hallways today. And I also have to participate in it. Otherwise, they'll be very mad at me. So I'm not have to do it. So let me tell you about hallway decorating now. So it's senior versus junior versus sophomore versus the freshmen. So seniors, me and all of us. So we have our topic is SpongeBob. So the senior hallway is going to be decorated completely like SpongeBob. And also there are gonna be the pictures of our childhood. So there's gonna be my picture also. It's tough to find my picture. Juniors, they're having Strangers thing. The juniors really wanted to do Strangers thing, so we give them their topic. Sophomores, Adam's Family. I still don't know what that is. But we were fine with them doing it. Freshmen, Frozen. I knew Frozen because it's a very famous movie, so I knew about that. So this is what I want to let you know about the hallway decorating, which is happening right now. And I don't know who's gonna win. Hopefully seniors, because I'm a senior. But I'm gonna let you guys know in the next meeting who is the winner. The next thing is Powder Puff. So as many of you might know, that Powder Puff is a game which is played in high school towards the end of the year. This is usually where girls, they play the football. Now it's a touch or a flag football. I didn't know about this, so I actually did a huge research just to present it today. We don't play these games in India. So this is where usually there is a role reverse. As we all know that boys, they play and the girls, they do the cheerleading. But this is different. Boys, they do the cheerleading and girls, they play. So it was very fun and it was $2 to see and $5 to play. I did not play. I went to see and record for today. I couldn't play. I'm not athletic at all. And it's breaking tradition of gender norms. So I have a video. I'm sure as many of you want to know who won. So can anyone want to guess? Yeah. Like seniors, juniors,
Seniors, the seniors.
yeah, the seniors win. I have a video of their celebration. You'll see me yelling in it. So just excuse it for today. Okay, seniors, 3, 2, 1. This was their celebration. Okay, so take your child to work day. This is one of our favorite and the most awaited moment of the entire year. So this is where today we had our teachers, they brought their kids in, and that's why you'll see all these decorations happening. I know many of you might know that this would be for you, but unfortunately it wasn't for you. It was for kids. And right where we are sitting over here, we had many stations, like a slime station, brisk making stations, coloring station, and few things which I don't know, it's American things, I'm sorry. There was a few games, board games. And then right over there, we had the kids where they were doing the drawings. And the pictures are from the kids, and they made the boxes and they made very unique things. Right over there, as you were walking in, you might have seen the butterflies and diamonds hanging. So there was this one kid who I really loved the most, and that was, he wanted to become president of the world. So whenever anyone wouldn't listen to him, he would put someone in the jail. That was the jail. So this is what we did today. It was a very fun time. So who organized it? FCCLA. We have a club, FCCLA. Yeah, it's a short form. It have a very huge name. I do not know the name. I remembered. I just forgot. I'm sorry. So it's ran by Miss Gabriella Smith, and we have co-presidents Mackenzie Martin and Blake Thompson. They did a great job organizing it. And I have videos. I have many videos for this one. So I think the first video is, okay, never mind. We don't have a video right now. Let me tell you what we did. So dance, we had dance functions over here in the gym. The kids who want to do dance, they went to the gym, and that's where they did the dance with the students who were in that classroom at the time. The second thing, coloring and bristles making, as I told you, craft, video game station. So right over there, our esports, they did a great job today by letting the kids play the video games. Okay, scavenger hunt. I had to talk about this because two of my teachers, they took 10 minutes just to help me how to pronounce it. So I didn't go over there because someone had to be in the library. Because if someone had to go to the bathroom, someone need to be like a coordinator. So I was the bathroom person who had to take them. So I was in the library. I missed it, but I knew the kids when they came and they were very happy. They were like jumping because they got their puzzles ready. The trick was that they have to get all their puzzles, and once they got all their puzzles done, they have to go to the teacher's lodge, and that's where they'll make the puzzle together. Whichever group gets the puzzle together first, they were given the candies. It made them happy. Now at the end, we were planning to go to the playground, but we didn't go because many reasons. First, the kids were very tired already. We didn't want to make them more tired. It was very hot today, so we just kept it. What else do we have? Oh, video.
Anyone getting lost, so please stay with one of the teenagers or in your.
So this is the video where we were giving them instructions that try to be with us if you're going outside the library. In the library, it's easy to find them. It wasn't easy. At some point, we can find them, but outside, we couldn't find them. And we also taught them not to go outside these doors. Another video, I don't know what's the name. Oh, that's it. I love it. As I was talking before the meeting starts with Ms. Reynolds, that the kids, they went to the gym. Now, it was very great to see how our students in Middlesex High School, they were helping and playing with the kids in the gym. As few kids, they were playing soccer, and intentionally they were losing just to make them happy. They were playing basketball. They were playing pickleball. Yeah, they were playing pickleball and hockey. So it was very fun to see them playing in the gym and also dancing with those kids. The next video, I think it's my favorite video, the next one. It might be me and one of the kids who I told you want to be the president of the world. He's Mr. Schwartzek, our gym teacher, his son, and he was entire time with me. So if he was with me, he got to know about Dr. Mike. So, so this week we have Spirit Week going on in the school. So today was dressed like your favorite celebrity. And yes, I dressed like Dr. Mike. So he asked me what was my name. I told him my name is Arshdeep. He never got that, so I asked him to just stick with Dr. Mike. So he knows me like Dr. Mike. I hope that's the next video. No, it's not. It's the kids doing the gaming.
Alright, Wolfman.
So the kids, they were playing video games over here. Not for the entire time because we also want them to just keep sitting. They were changing their positions, like they were rotating. And as I told you, esports and the technology department, they did a great job to let them play and also teach them how to play because 4 or 5 years old kids, they want to play Fortnite, but they didn't know how to play. So they did a great job explaining that. I hope the next video is the one which I was talking about. That's Mr. Regan's tail, it's not that video. He was concentrated on making a bracelet. Now I'm sure it's the last video. So you'll see me and him talking. I made this video especially for today. So say
My
hi.
name is Michael. I really like playing with my new toys I have.
What about me?
About she played with me all day.
You had a fun?
And she was really nice to me.
Are you gonna remember me?
Yes,
What's my name?
Dr. Mike.
Hi everyone.
Bye, everyone.
I love Middlesex High School.
I love Middlesex High School.
I love you, Dad.
I love you.
So, Dr. Mike. It was very fun. I loved it. I'm graduating this year, and I wouldn't see them again, so it was very fun. And he wanted to take me with him to his home, but that's not possible. So the next thing is National Honor Society. So we have one of the best club, National Honor Society. There are many requirements to be in the club. I'm in it. I'm going to talk about two things: the fundraising which we did, and the second thing was blood drive. So talking about the fundraising, I can't see from that one. So, oh, my bad, blood drive. So the blood drive is going to happen on Friday, May 2nd. It's happening in high school gym, and it's organized by Red Cross organization. Now, it's not that any kid can do it. There are many requirements, like the requirement is age requirement. You should be 17 or older. Not only this, there are specific age borders. As I just told you, parental consent is very important in this. Like I'm convincing my mom so she can allow me to do the blood drive if she gets convinced. The third thing is height and weight. Usually it's very important to also make sure like there is height limitation for gender also, like for girls there are different heights and for boys it's a different height. Same goes for the weight. It's on the website. All the kids have the website on the Google Classrooms and also on the corridor, on the hallways, we will see the hangings of the flyers with you, where they're going to be the QR code where the entire information is for the parents to access and also the students to access. And precaution. We do not want anyone to give the blood and then fall. So we really want them to take the precaution. The precautions are very simple. Stay hydrated, eat a nutrition-rich diet, and eat a protein-rich diet. Mom, let me do it. So fundraising. So for fundraising, New Jersey Prevent Child Abuse. This is where all the fundraising from National Honor Society went. We raised up $2,000 this year. The goal was to provide support in coping up the kids from the abuse. The abuse could be mental, physical, or any kind of abuse in any form. The money is going for a good cause, and it's a non-profit organization. And they have this famous quote: "Non-profit builds resilience and social emotional health within children and families." So this is one of the best way, as many of our staff would know that we kids, we were coming to them asking for if they want to buy a donut. So that the money from the donuts was going all, the $1,000 went to this non-profit organization. And I also did participate in it. Spirit Week, as I just told you, we are having Spirit Week going on, and tomorrow is the last day of the Spirit Week, and this is the last Spirit Week of this year, which I'm very sad about because I always participate into it. Now tomorrow we have our pep rally. Tomorrow we always wear our class colors. And we have dressed like your celebrity. I dressed up like Dr. Mike, yeah. So Diversity Day. I'm going to talk more about Diversity Day in the next meeting because it's happening on on 30th of this month. Which month is this? April. April 30th. This is where usually the kids, they have two options. First, they can have their individual tables. Second, they can have like the class tables, like class of 2025 or class of 2024. There are many delicious foods coming that day. I'm gonna bring food, so it's gonna be very yummy. Because that's the only time when I get to eat like a lot of spicy food, usually. So it's very fun. And the kids from National Honor Society are volunteering into it. They're helping in organizing and they're also taking part in it. So I'm going to talk a lot more about it, and I'm going to come with the videos and pictures just to show how it was. Okay, well, that's thank you.
Is the blood drive open to the public?
I have to look into this because I'm not sure if it's open to public. Because it's in school gym, so I might not be sure about this. I'll let you know. I'll ask Mr. Preeti or Mrs. Ignatius because they're the club advisors, and then I'll email you about this.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'll be leaving now. I'm sorry.
Have fun. Hope you win.
I hope so.
We're a little bit partial, me, you, and Trish. Hoping that the seniors win the hall decorating. We all have seniors too, so we're on your side. We're rooting for you.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, now we will move on to our meeting minutes. We have minutes from the committee as a whole and the executive session and the regular public meeting and the executive session that night, they were March 18th and March 19th. We have corrections and revisions to previous board agendas as noted. Does anybody have, I'm sorry, let's go this way. Superintendent recommends approval of items 5.01 to 5. Sorry, wrong thing. I'm looking at the wrong thing. No, that's just written. Approval of items 6.01 to 6.03 as presented. So moved.
Second?
Anybody have any questions? Okay, Annette, can you please take the roll?
Mrs. Parenti?
I need to abstain from the regular public meeting and the executive session on March 19th. Yes to the rest.
Mrs. Schuler?
Yes.
Ms. Jeffrey? Mr. Nicolay?
Yes.
Mrs. Perry?
Yes.
Mrs. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Reynolds?
Yes to both meetings on March 18th, abstain from both meetings on March 19th.
Mr. Thornton?
Yes.
Thank you. Oftentimes, it may appear to members of our audience that the Board of Education takes action with very little comment and in many cases, a unanimous vote. Before a matter is placed on the agenda at a public meeting, the administration has thoroughly reviewed the matter with the superintendent of schools. If the superintendent is satisfied that the matter is ready to be presented to the Board of Education, it is then referred to the appropriate board committee. The members of the board committee work with the administration and the superintendent to assure that the members fully understand the matter. When the committee is satisfied with the matter, it is presented to the Board of Education for discussion before any final action is taken. Only then is it placed on the agenda for action at a public meeting. Okay, we'll move on to our personnel report from our committee chair, Mr. Nicolay.
Thank you, Madam President. Personnel committee met earlier this month. Superintendent recommends approval of personnel action items 9.1 through 9.12 as presented. So moved.
Second. Does anybody have any questions? Okay, Annette, can you please take the roll?
Mrs. Parenti?
Yes.
Mrs. Schuler?
Yes.
Ms. Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Nicolay?
Yes.
Mrs. Perry?
Yes.
Mrs. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Thornton?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll now move on to our education report by our committee chair, Mrs. Brenda Perry.
Evening. The superintendent recommends approval of education action items 11.1 through 11.12 as presented. So moved.
Second. Any questions or discussion? Annette, can you please take the roll?
Mrs. Parenti?
Yes.
Mrs. Schuler?
Yes.
Ms. Jeffrey?
Yes.
Mr. Nicolay?
Yes.
Mrs. Perry?
Yes.
Mrs. Quinn?
Yes.
Mrs. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Thornton?
Yes.
Thank you. We don't have any policy action items, so do we need to, we don't need to do anything there, right? Okay, perfect. We'll move on to our facilities and finance report by our committee chair, Mr. Todd Nicolay.
Thank you, Danielle. Superintendent recommends approval of facilities and finance action items 14.01 through 14.13. So moved.
Second. Any questions or discussions?
If I just make a quick comment about the budget. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say thank you to Danielle, Dr. Freeman, Sharon, and Tom. We did meet to discuss concerns that I had with the budget, and we had, I think, a good meeting. But I still have some disagreements about it. So I just want to explain a little bit to the board why I'm going to be voting the way I'm voting. The parking lot project for Parker School, not against the project. I just the cost for the $1 million. I just think that's way over what it should cost for a parking lot. And Also, the other issue I had was with other expenditures, that's at like 19.9%. And that's about 10 million of the budget. And just maybe looking into that more of what items is in that because of being such a large amount of money as other expenditures. That was my other issue. And moving forward, I just asked the board to be conscious in the spending because of the uncertainty today with the economy and also what we'll be having with funding in schools. So just that we look out for the taxpayer and that we try to keep low percentage increases moving forward. And thank you.
Thank you. Can I ask a real quick question to piggyback?
Sure.
No, you make a good point, and I'm not disagreeing. I appreciate you sharing your thoughts. We have to take the lowest bid, right? So when we have these costs, it's the absolute lowest bid of any company that comes to us. So we're not, legally, we have to take it. I didn't know if you were aware of that, so
Yes,
think
I'm
things are
aware of
pretty-
that, but I don't know if this has been bidded out yet, or is that
That's
just
not-
an
No,
estimate? So that's why I was just concerned about the amount of the estimate. That's my concern.
and I'm hoping it comes in under that as well, but.
So that's not confirmed the amount that is gonna be.
Right.
It's a-
So we do have to estimate according to our long-range facility plan, which we did talk about last night.
Mhm.
There are prices kind of associated with the cost of different things. We do have to give an estimate so that the money can be allocated from the capital improvements budget. When we do go out to bid, if it comes in at $500,000, then we spend $500,000, and the rest goes back into capital improvement fund. If it came in over $1 million, we either rebid or we don't do the project, and the money goes back into capital. If
You
that
usually
if
try to
that helps.
estimate enough so that the project can get done.
Correct. And it's not just resurfacing a parking lot. It's similar to what we did at Mauger in, I believe it's
Drainage and
grading, digging it out, the new drainage, the lights, everything. It's for safety and security of the staff and the students. So,
And correct me if I'm wrong in that, but I think that there was an estimate, part of the long-range facilities plan, but we obviously have to up that because that is a number of years old, correct?
Right.
And we all know that everything is way more expensive. Okay, any other questions or discussions on that?
Yes, regarding the budget, and I know my concerns are also with the amount of spending, especially with the parking lot, especially with the projects that we have voted on, the generator, the cost of the generator project, parking lot. We're doing in the school here, we're doing the ceilings or I guess remediation. It seems like this, well, from what I see, seems like we're spending a little too much this year to try to get things going. Too many big projects at the same time. That's my concern. And because of having those projects, it's affecting the budget, it's affecting the taxpayers, it's everybody. That's just my feeling on it, is there possibly puts something off instead of having all these projects going simultaneously.
And I think that, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that some of these projects were also part of the referendum, correct?
The ceiling abatement project here that's going on in the summer is part of the referendum, yes. The generator was not, that was from capital money.
from last
But
year's
that's
budget.
this
That
current
was-
year's
that was
budget, right?
capital
That's
money
not
from
part,
last year's budget.
Oh, yeah.
Or should I say this year's budget?
Yes, exactly.
so that, yes, so
That
that's
was
not
the
part of
capital
next,
budget.
that's not part of next year.
No,
That
we
has nothing to do with next year.
Right.
Correct. And then again, 16 years in this seat, I'm gonna tell you, the long-range facility plan, we talked about it last night, $87 million 4 years ago. If we are doing a project $1 million at a time, we're never getting anything done at the school because we can only afford to do 2 projects a summer. And when we get done with those 2, there's millions more renovations that need to be done on 5 extensively old buildings. So we spent a lot of years between 2008 and 2012, 14, not doing a lot of these things because there was no money. We were not getting money from the state. We were not, I honestly, I understand your concerns, but I'm just saying 2 projects a summer is not a lot actually for a school district. So that's just my viewing. We need to start chipping away at these things.
And especially if, some of them are for the safety of the staff and the students. So, I mean, these are things that definitely.
I would say they're not glamorous. Parking lots, roofs, ceilings. There's nothing glamorous about these renovations.
And I just want to remind the board that capital reserve money must be spent in capital projects, as you know. So this is not money that can be transferred in any other line item in the budget. They must be spent on capital projects. And the money is meant to be spent in those areas, in that area.
So it's not like we can't pull money from here to add it to something else.
Correct.
So,
Yes. Any other discussion? Okay. Annette, can you please take the roll?
Mrs. Parenti?
Yes.
Mrs. Schuler?
Yes.
Ms. Jeffrey?
Here.
Mr. Nicolai?
Yes.
Mrs. Perry?
Yes.
Mrs. Quinn?
14.13 no for the budget and yes for the rest.
Mrs. Reynolds?
Yes.
Mr. Thorns?
1412 is no for the budget. 1413 and yes for the rest.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any new business? Okay, any ongoing business? Okay, we will open the public comment portion of the meeting, the second public comment portion. Comments at this time can be on any topic. Please come to the podium, put your name, address, email address, and subject of your comment into the record book. Before speaking, please give your name, address, and subject of your comment to Ms. Annette Giordano, Business Administrator, Board Secretary. Direct your comments and questions to the Board President. You may speak on 2 separate topics for up to 3 minutes each. Go ahead.
Good evening, Dr. Freeman, board members, staff, and community members. My name is Connie Stanzione, and I live at 30 Whitney Drive, where I have been a resident for 48 years. I am a retired teacher from Franklin Township School District in Somerset. While I never had children of my own, I have always voted in favor of school referendums because I understood the direct impact that supporting teachers and staff has on students' academic success. Dr. Freeman, on the first day of school, you spoke about vulnerability. When our community was considering a referendum, it was indeed a vulnerable time for both teachers and students. Unfortunately, that referendum did not pass, forcing the district to make difficult adjustments. It was discouraging. Now, as I continue to work in the district as a lunchroom and recess aide, a teacher assistant, and a care supervisor, I see firsthand how dedicated our teachers are. They meet students at their individual levels, challenging them to excel and encouraging them to grow into responsible leaders. None of us want to see mediocrity. We want to see students thrive. At this moment, Dr. Freeman and board members, there is an uncertainty that must be addressed. We must move beyond hesitation and work together to find a solution that benefits our teachers, staff, community, and most importantly, our students. Let us do what is right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Jan, can you just need to put your name in the book.
Oh, I'm
There.
sorry.
Your name, your address, and your email address, please. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Regina Reed, and this is my daughter Sophia. I teach 5th grade at Woodland School. I am here to speak on behalf of the Middlesex Education Association. This is my 23rd year here at Middlesex. I began my career at Parker School. I then worked at Longer and now Woodland for many years. I have cared for Middlesex children and their families for literally half of my life. I go to school early. I stay late. I sometimes do work at home. I am not home to drive my own children to school or to pick them up. I have missed every first day of school, as well as things like Halloween parades and award assemblies. Why? Because I'm here with the children in Middlesex. I spend hours a day in the classroom that I pay to decorate myself so that my awesome students can learn in a pleasant-looking environment. Unfortunately, though, the room is sometimes sweltering because there's no air conditioning. It is very warm indoors this week, and I cannot imagine how ridiculously hot it will be on June 25th. Yet, my students and I will continue to do our very best to focus on our very important work. Because I give this time and energy, my heart and soul really to my students every day, it is time for the Middlesex Board of Education to care about me and my family in return. I have 2 teenagers that need to go to college soon, and I need money to pay for it. In case people are not aware, some universities cost more per year than teachers make here in a year. I worry about how I can make my own kids' future dreams come true and still pay my mortgage. The truth is, the Reed family deserves better. Please care about us as much as I have cared about everyone here for the past 23 years. I beg you to give my amazing colleagues and I the respect and fair contract we deserve this coming Monday. We have been waiting for 297 days. Thank you.
My name is Caitlin Palchinas. I live at 11 John Street in Hampton. And although I do not live here now, I am a former resident of Middlesex. I grew up here. I graduated from Middlesex High School and have now been teaching in district for over 10 years. So I'm here speaking today to urge the board to settle our contract. It has been mentioned before that we are facing a teacher shortage, which is undoubtedly true. However, I would like to highlight a specific population of our staff and district that is going through crisis level shortages, special education.
Right now, we are struggling to fill special education positions, and the reality is stark. Fewer teachers are entering the field while the needs of our students continue to grow. The shortage of qualified special education teachers has led to increased caseloads, reduced individualized attention, and the reliance on long-term substitutes to fill vacancies. For example, I am the district's single autism program teacher. My students receive one-to-one instruction and require support in many areas, such as communication, social skills, and daily living skills. This school year, there are 2 autism classrooms, but again, I am the only teacher. So who is teaching the second classroom? The district began looking for a teacher for the second classroom in May 2024 last year. It has been almost a year and the district has yet to hire a teacher. For 8 months now, the second autism classroom has been taught by a teacher assistant. This is not a unique problem for the district. During the 2023-2024 school year, Woodland was without a teacher for their 5th grade LLD program. A teacher assistant was used to cover the class for months on end. One of the elementary multiple disabilities classrooms started this school year off without a teacher. The teacher assistant was used to teach the class. Earlier this school year, the high school multiple disabilities teacher resigned. The district has been posting for the position since mid-October. The classroom is still without a teacher assistant has been covering for months now. While we have wonderful dedicated teaching assistants, they are not required to have teaching certifications or be certified to teach special education. These examples serve to show how difficult it is to fill our special education positions with qualified candidates. Also, by using our teacher assistants to cover classrooms long-term, we are taking them away from the classrooms that desperately need their support. To further highlight the district's difficulty with hiring special education teachers, the district has been trying to hire a second multiple disabilities teacher for Woodland since May 2023. It has been almost 2 years and still no teacher has been hired. The district began advertising for a board-certified behavioral analyst position in May 2024, a critical position that would help support teachers and students with behavioral needs. It is still currently unfilled. While I have more examples, I will stop there for the sake of time. This shortage doesn't just affect special education students. It ripples across entire classrooms, overburdens general education teachers, and challenges administrators to meet federal and legal mandates with limited resources. And the toll it takes is not just academic, it is emotional, developmental, and deeply human. If we are serious about equity in education, we must invest in recruiting and retaining special education teachers. When we can't fully support our special education programs, we risk failing some of the most vulnerable learners in our district. We need to prioritize creating environments where all of our educators feel supported, valued, and inspired to stay. Right now, that means settling our contract. With the contract, I hope we can move towards not only filling vacancies, but also strengthening the foundation of inclusive education in our district. Settle our contract. Our students and staff deserve nothing less. Thank you.
That's perfect, thank you, because it segues directly into what I'm about to say. My name is Jessica Can. I live at 21 Point Lane in Flemington. For those of you who don't know me, I am the reading specialist at Woodland Intermediate, or I was until December when I was switched to teaching special education math. Now, I understand that times are tough and people leave and we need to fill positions. But the problem is there's nobody to fill these positions. I have 40 plus students that are not receiving services that they so desperately need because we cannot get teachers to come and teach in our district. And to highlight that need, in February of 2024, Rutgers University provided concrete data surrounding shortages. A report from Rutgers University's John J. Heldrick Center for Workforce Development found that 10% of teachers leave the profession within the first 3 years. Additionally, the report found that the number of provisional teaching certificates issued in New Jersey during the 2022-2023 school year dropped nearly 40% from the previous decade. I'm gonna date myself now. I graduated in the year of 2007 with an elementary education degree. We were a dime a dozen. I could not get an interview. There was 300 plus of us trying to get a job for one position. Right now, it is a teacher's market. You could leave, you can go, you can ask what you want because we are desperate for teachers. There's a 40% drop in teaching certificates. All these people are not going to school to become teachers. What are we going to do to get our teachers to come here so that our students can receive the services that they so desperately need? I cannot continue to fill all these vacant positions. I am one person. And it is not just me, it is all of the support specialists getting pulled constantly to fill these vacancies, and we are selling our students short. You want to talk about test scores, you want to talk about special education population. What are we doing to help this if all of our support staff is being pulled? And we can't help our students. Please settle our contracts so that people would like to come and work here. If I'm a new teacher and I'm coming for interviews and I find out that we don't have a contract and we've been going about this for a year, 2 years, I'm choosing to go work somewhere else. We need to settle for the sake of the students in our classrooms. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Stacy Meza, South Plains, New Jersey. I'm a fourth grade teacher at Woodland, and this is my 22nd year in Middlesex. I'm also a proud graduate of Parker Mauger in the high school, so the district holds a special place in my heart, as many of you know. Although we are told to put family first, I've always felt that putting my job first was putting my family first, since this is how I support my family, and show my daughters the importance of being dedicated to rewarding and what I thought was a respected profession. I am not feeling the respect. But I continue to show up with the same energy and enthusiasm, despite having to wear, no matter the circumstance. I showed up while my parents were dying. I showed up to miss my child's concerts, award ceremonies, and other special events. By the way, my older daughter asked why I never went. I isolated myself and my family during the pandemic so that I could show up for the kids every day. I have spent hours volunteering my time before, during, and after school throughout my career. I've spent countless hours doing work at home and my own money to enhance students' experiences. I am very concerned that we will lose the highly educated, professional, and caring teaching staff that has recently been hired at Woodland. I do not want to see them have to hold a second job their first 10 years, like myself and others still do. Why should they stay when surrounding districts are making up to $20,000 more with no duties and lots of stipend options? Also having to fight for compensation for missed preps, losing even more valuable time for what is rightfully and legally ours. There is more on our plates than ever. There is not a hat rack large enough to hold the amount of hats we are expected to wear outside of our role as a teacher. There is no such thing as clocking out. Settle a fair contract. This is like the 4th or 5th time that I've gone through this in my career. It's disheartening.
Good evening, Board. Dr. Freeman, Ms. Gomez, my colleagues. I get sentimental because I love my colleagues. So it pains me to hear what they have to say. My name is Maria Seigen. been living here a very long time, over 20 years in Middlesex. I did not graduate from Middlesex. I went to school in New York City, so this is very foreign to me when I first came. I've been teaching for 20 years plus, and I haven't left because of the strong community that we have. Dr. Freeman, that was the last thing you had in your presentation, and I agree with you. We are a strong community. As neighbors, as colleagues, we are strong in every way, and I value that. I am proud of our town. I am proud of our schools. I am proud of what our graduates do beyond the high school. To see my former students like Ms. McDonald, who's a teacher, a fabulous teacher. The students that are attorneys right now, that are nurses, that are academics. It is something to be proud of. And they are the way they are because of the strong community we have. And a big part of it is the teachers. Those of us that have been here for a very long time, a number of my colleagues just mentioned about the new staff that came in. We have fabulous new staff. Please don't leave. I remember when I came to that board meeting in August, there were so many new hires, 11, 12. It was exciting. I hope I'm able to see that again this coming summer because I hope by then we have a contract. We are a close-knit community that deeply care about our neighbors and support one another at times of need. During the funeral of Danny Garofalo, there were hundreds of people there. During the recent tragedy, Facebook was lit with support for the family. This is the case as well within our schools. I am proud of my colleagues. We all give 110% to our students, not only by guiding them on a daily basis on their academics during and after school, as they said, beyond school hours. Some teachers give extra help for 4 p.m. when we should be gone by. Some of us working beyond our regular schedule with our students. We also serve them as counselors, always with a shoulder to lean on during their times of need when they need somebody to talk to. Teachers have gone out of their way to buy our students clothing, coats, shoes, grocery gift cards for our students in need. None of this is in our work description, but we do it because we deeply care about every one of our students and their well-being. Parents whose children have transferred from other schools have taken notice of this. They've made comments. They were very surprised that we actually call parents. They never had that before. That we call them in for meetings, that we send them emails. We care about our students, we communicate with our parents. This is what we do on our own time, at 4 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, at 7 a.m., because we don't have time during the day. Everything we do is something I think that you need to consider. Please consider the human aspect of our jobs. When you meet on the 28th, I would encourage you to please consider that. We're not just teaching subjects. We do not just operate in a vacuum. We build relationships among my colleagues, which I absolutely love, with our administrators and with our students and their families. I believe that trusting relationships is at the core of our careers and our field. I trust that when it comes time for you to meet on the 28th, you'll keep that in mind. Working without a contract, as you can tell, impacts our teachers in more ways than you can imagine. It's stressful and demanding. Teachers here should be at home. They should be with their kids. And on days when teachers are not here, at the board meetings, it is because we trust that you do what you're supposed to do. I trust that you will do what you need to do. Please settle the contract on Monday, the 28th.
Kristen's getting up there. That's what he's always.
Good evening. My name is Kristen Avalone. I'm a teacher at Hazelwood, and I have worked for the Middlesex Board of Education for the last 20 years, where I've been committed to seeing our students succeed. I'm respectfully urging this board to settle the ongoing contract dispute. We all know that negotiations are complex, but what's at stake here is not just a contract, it's trust, it's community, it's our children's futures. As educators, we feel unsupported, stretched thin, and undervalued. This isn't about demands, it's about fairness. Teachers aren't looking for luxury. We're looking for livable wages, responsible working conditions, or reasonable working conditions, and the resources we need to do our jobs well. A settled contract signals that this district values its educators. It sets the tone for the kind of place we want our schools to be. It's time we move forward and settle the contract now. Thank you. Hi all. I'm Christiane Jankowitz. I teach at Hazelwood School. I'm the reading support teacher. I'll be talking about the contract and a few other issues. As a teacher in this district, I chose to speak tonight because I had a few concerns. As I stated the last time we spoke at a board meeting, I've been teaching in this district for 22 years. Many of those years were full of support from the community that I love this town, and the administration. For years, I felt heard. While not everyone agreed with me, they listened. I was included, it felt collaborative. I was given opportunities to sit on panels of respected teachers and administration. If I spoke up about an issue that was occurring in the district, it felt respected. Now all decisions are made by the administration. We are not included, and our opinions hold no weight. The current climate feels very different. It feels angry, resentful, and at times manipulative. I don't feel like I have a voice, and now, even worse, when I do give my opinion, I'm giving it at the risk of being labeled disrespectful, which I was told could lead to me being written up. I do not consider expressing my opinion as disrespectful, and I don't think any member of this staff, many of whom have dedicated their careers to this community, including me, should feel nervous to speak up with fear of repercussions. On the other hand, I do think it's disrespectful to not actively listen when any staff or community members are up here sharing their opinions. We deserve to be heard. I watched the last meeting on live stream from my son's hospital bedside. He was sick, and I couldn't attend. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I saw teachers stand up here, pouring their hearts out, with many of you, not all, not actively listening. And while I'm sure it's hard, meeting after meeting, hearing about staff and community concerns, it's part of the job, it's not personal, and it comes with the territory. We don't expect things to change immediately, but we do want to feel respected and valued, and that we know that we matter to you and to this district. We deserve respect, and most importantly, we deserve a contract. Settling the contract would be the first step in the right direction that we all need right now. If we could step away from all of this negativity and forward into a more positive, unified district. Please settle the contract. I appreciate your time.
Everybody,
I'm Amy Ash. I am a school psychologist with the elementary schools. I've been in the district for several years now. I wasn't going to focus my my talk on special education, but I did just want to piggyback off of what Mrs. Calcinas was saying in terms of the lack of teachers. And I just, you know, from a personal standpoint, my older son is a sophomore at Rutgers, and I was helping him. They were doing a virtual job there. So I said, you know, like, let's look and see where you should go, you know, so you can try to get an internship for the summer. And there were all these school districts on there advertising, and I was shocked that Middlesex was not on there, because I would think that Rutgers would be, you know, a great pool for teachers. So I really hope that in the future, you know, there were from Bergen County, from Union County where I live, you know, there were just school districts. So I really hope that we take advantage of that. So anyway, so over the past several months, you've heard many different voices and perspectives regarding the lack of a contract, and I just wanted to echo that, and I really hope that, you know, at some point, everybody and their collective stories will be heard. I just wanted to say, you know, as the months of the school year go on, we're almost in May, the toll is just, it's really heartbreaking. It's become increasingly hard to come to work with the joy and enthusiasm that we once had, but we're teachers or related service providers, or in my case, child study teams, you know, we put on a great face. You know, we put our best foot forward. We don't want the kids to know the stress that we are under, because that's what the kids deserve, and that's what the families of the town deserve. You know, I have heard through the grapevine that there are teachers that are looking for other positions, really, really good teachers. That would be really terrible if we lost. So I really, really hope that you consider all of these things that we're saying when you come to the table on Monday, and that you really, really listen, you know, on both ends, but that you can come to a fair contract, because enough time has passed that people are really hurting, and, you know, that would really go a long way. So thank you.
Lord Thompson. I know I was late. That was by my choice to be here on time at a meeting or to watch my granddaughters run in a track meet. There was no doubt in my mind, because I come almost to all the meetings and I voice my opinion and make statements, and I don't get any answers, and it's pretty frustrating that I come and there's deaf ears here. So I need to express what I should have expressed before the budget, but even if I did it during the budget agenda items, I knew it was going to fall on deaf ears anyway. So I'm going to ask the board members to think about this, and you won't give me an answer, but there were 95 pages for the line items for the budget. I took the time and I sat there and I went through line by line by line. I have a million questions, but I'm not going to take up everyone's time here with them. Just a few. So there's a statement of priorities that you have listed there. An example, career readiness, life literacies, and key skills. So when you look at the code numbers, it looks like it's built into the teacher's salaries, and then also money coming from general supplies. So does that mean you're going to be asking teachers to do more? So I don't know if you board members read all those little details, but I think it's very important, even now, that you go back and make sure you read every little detail there. There's a line for salary for a secretary and clerical assistant for $69,000. It's just a line by itself. So I spoke to Danielle several months ago when money was being spent, and she kind of indicated to me that I wasn't at the budget hearing for the last budget, so that's why I'm here. But I don't know if that's going to be a new position or not, but we don't need any more new positions. Total security is listed at $400,434. I'm wondering if that's for the class 3 officers that we've been wanting to get in place, and the year is almost over and they're not there. So that's my question to you. Is that where that money's going? I see there was money in the budget last year, $260-some thousand. And if it is for the Class 3 officers, I would hope that the board or superintendent, I don't know who has to give the go to the police department to make it happen. But I would hope that you would do that sooner than later. I'm wondering why the community school director is under a whole different plan. She has private insurance. There's all different things listed there. I don't know if you're aware of that, but there's a whole list. Also under security, under the special ed program, there's a total security amount of $257,000. Is there special security for our special education people? I don't know. And my last comment will be, I understand that Hazelwood School had a little bit of a debacle with a fire drill the other day. And I'm just wondering if Mr. John Keelia, the principal on special assignment, who one of his major duties and responsibilities to serve as the primary emergency management official for the district, I wonder if he was allowed to go to Hazelwood School to get that situation straightened out. I come every meeting and I ask questions. I go to the board corner to get my answers. There are none. I go to my emails to get answers. There are none. So I fall on deaf ears. I'm just a resident, concerned about what's going on. But these people deserve more than deaf ears. They have been coming, expressing all their concerns, and I've been to several meetings with them, and it seems like we're going backwards instead of forward. I urge you to please listen to these people. They have serious concerns going on, and you need to take some action to get them going.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening to Dr. Freeman and to the board. Here today, my name is Vincent Rouse, 60 Washington Avenue, Middlesex. And I wanted to come and share today a concern, but I think we can get it rectified. Middlesex. My family moved to Middlesex some years ago. And when we moved to Middlesex, I did not directly put my children in Middlesex public school. I kept them in private school. Then I made a decision after research and being around the town for some years that I would allow my children, myself and my wife, allow my children to come and be in Middlesex public school. It has been a good experience. Let me tell you why, because Middlesex has some great educators. All right, I'm not just a parent, but I'm a former educator myself, and still is involved in education. And I've been able to see some things, and I know some things that are right? A lot of times people come and talk about the negative stuff all the time, but there are a lot of positive things that's going on here in Middlesex public schools. But one thing I want to encourage, because I also have the opportunity, because I'm going back into education, is to be a permanent sub in Marvin. And so my daughter attends Marvin, but I'm also there every day. And I get to see for myself the love, the concern, the care, and the quality of teachers that are in Marvin. I can't speak for the other schools. Yes, I can. I can speak for the high school because my son is also in the high school, right? And so when there's something wrong, Mr. Smith is on it 100%, right? Our emails detailed from top to bottom. His teachers are calling. I'm in Chromebook all the time watching. You don't get that every place. You don't get that every time. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. And so I want to encourage us to work together. We have a great superintendent, we have a great board, we have great teachers to work together to make sure that they get this contract, because I don't want to lose any of those teachers, because my daughter is in 6th grade. I want her to be here for 7th grade, for 8th grade, and I want those teachers that I work with every day to be able to teach my daughter, because I see the quality of education that they provide for these students. So I'm asking you, please make sure that we get this rectified so our teachers can have a wonderful summer, and we come back the next school year and Middlesex will be the place that everybody's looking to come and teach, because we can be the example for the entire state of New Jersey. Thank you.
I'm just gonna write my name. You have all the other information. Nobody's contacted me, even though I talked for the past 2 months. You did know where to find me to observe me the next day after I talked to you, and stayed till 10 p.m., so thanks for that. So just to piggyback on some of the issues that people stated, we need to acknowledge that Hazelwood is a hostile work environment for teachers, staff, and students. I'm concerned for the well-being of the children of the school who are being subjected to such toxicity by default of having to exist in that environment. When people are difficult to work with and are not being a team player, there is an emotional toll it takes. Teachers simply having to process the threats that are being made to document things such as tone to be placed in permanent records takes time and energy that our teachers should be dedicating to our children. A principal is not meant to lead by simply stating they are a principal. They should foster an inclusive environment where teachers and administrators work together for the greater good of the student. As a current parent, I have learned firsthand how when the teachers are not there as a buffer, it's been obvious the school environment is toxic to our students. Students who are not emotionally explosive or school adverse started showing signs of those issues almost immediately. I know you like to claim 98% of the school is happy. It's just us few loudmouths who have issues. And you write us off as we don't like change, we're racist, we want Mr. G back. Let me be very clear. Am I happy you are wasting $200,000 a year of our tax money in salary and benefits to put a principal in the closet? Absolutely not. Does it have anything to do with the fact that the Hazelwood principal cannot do her job well? No. And any Hazelwood parent who's not up here, who's not having these issues, thank your child's teacher, because I was that parent. I saw the chaos of the other class. I knew things were not going well, but it didn't affect me, so I couldn't speak to it. And it was a freak accident that couldn't have been planned for. But I also can't plan the weather, but I can open an umbrella once it starts raining, or take shelter, or leave a little earlier than usual when it snows. Nothing was being remediated for that class, and it was obvious, but what could I do? I even planned ahead and contacted the principal about a concern for no replacement for our class. A planned absence everyone knew was coming. She deferred me to someone else and then clearly did nothing to get a teacher in their class. It was weeks. And our current replacement teacher worked in the building. So save the excuses. It took 2 days to change once we lost our buffer, the teacher. My life and my daughter's life was upended. I was up with her for nightmares every night. My kid, who had maybe said they didn't want to go to school twice since attending Hazelwood at pre-K, was actively fighting me not to go. Crying uncontrollably as I was putting her to bed because she knew the next day was a school day. All because this principal didn't do her job. And the kicker is, we had the good sub. The sub that had taken months for the other class to find, and it was still that bad for these children. I will say, I'm happy to finally see Ms. Heisch being approved on this agenda. It took a week or so, but the nightmares have stopped and the sobbing at night has stopped. I am so appreciative of her for that. But the reality is, This principal caused this, and it's not just in my child, but many others. It's also easy to notice many substitutes throughout the building, as well as the onslaught of coverages necessary. How do we know? Our students aren't getting the services they're entitled to due to these issues. The environment is clearly taking a toll on the teachers and their mental and emotional health. This in turn is affecting the mental and emotional health of the students, which goes against everything this district is supposed to represent. The environment is not healthy. It needs to be changed immediately to ensure our students' well-being is the ultimate priority. How do I know all this? I teach at the high school. And maybe I'm more sensitive to this because we went through the same thing. A principal who didn't fall in line was removed. The only difference is no one was very upset about that. Nobody came, nobody spoke up. A new principal was hired, and it quickly became an absolute disaster. That disaster honestly lasted too long. And I'll be the first to say, I was involved in that interview process, not like now where they don't allow anyone to be involved. And on paper, and in that interview, at least in the first round, that was the best candidate. The problem is paper and a solid interview don't always translate to good leader. It was so toxic for teachers and students, and finally something was done. But the difference for the students was they were high school. They were adults in training. They understood the decimation happening and could comprehend the cause. These children cannot. It shows in their emotions and in their fears. That is not fair to allow any longer. How was it fixed at the high school? You realized you needed someone inside to come and quell that storm, to restore hope in competent leadership, and to honestly take some of the heat off the administration and the Board of Ed. So please, help our children, the ones most of you know, help our teachers who have taught most of your kids. I cannot tell you how many people after the last meeting came up to me, not only to thank me for what I said, but to tell me that they appreciated that I was speaking for them because they moved to this town for the schools. I have to say, I'm a lifer. You're stuck with me. I'm always here, okay? But I was very surprised by how many people said they moved here for the schools and are now considering moving out. And they can do that. I'm stuck. I'm a lifer. I'm just going to keep getting up here and saying what I'm saying, okay? But there are literally people moving out of this town because they moved here for a certain school environment that we are not providing, okay? Come on. Thank you.
My name is Courtney Shani Correct. I live at 233 Oak Drive, Middlesex. I was not planning on speaking, but I am the parent at Hazelwood, and I have a different view. I absolutely love the principal. Although I realize that I am not in the school and see what every teacher or staff member see, I do get to interact with her more being on the PTO. I have two children in the school, one who's in kindergarten who is an extremely shy student that I'm still trying to figure out how to get him to adjust because it's not like my other two children. And then I have a really outgoing third grader. My kids love going to school. They see the principal in the school, in the classrooms every day. I've been in the school several times when she doesn't even know I'm in the building and I see her coming in and out of the classrooms. And I didn't see Mr. G doing that. And everybody has their own views, but I've been on the PTO for several years. I wasn't a fan of Mr. G. He liked who he liked. I've had issues as a parent, didn't appreciate how things were handled. It's fine. Now, everyone's not gonna like everybody. You know what? I go to work every day. I don't like every boss that I have, but I do it. I see this year is not, I'm not saying that all the teachers are bad, but I think it's very sad that our kids are suffering, and I truly believe our kids are suffering because the teachers that are very upset that Mr. G is not there are creating a mean girl attitude, which is hurting our kids. There's things that have gone on in the school every year that isn't going on this year because teachers aren't bringing it up, that the principal doesn't know. And every district runs different. So what Dr. Clark Holmes did in her other districts doesn't mean that that's what goes on here. So if we're not gonna support her, our kids aren't gonna be supported. And it's really, really sad to see. It's an awful year for the kids, and she's not to blame. If he was there, it would be the same problem. If the teachers came to school, there wouldn't have to be someone filling in the classroom. Dr. Clark Holmes did it. Yeah, I agree that they should have a contract. I think you should settle it on April 28th, 100%. I don't think there's any reason why it shouldn't have gone on as long as it did. But I also think that if these teachers came to school, then they would not have this issue. So I don't care that I don't get a class, or I don't care, it's not about that. This is the truth. And it's sad that our kids are suffering. I see social media people complaining their kids are so upset, and I'm in the school watching the kids smiling all day. I don't go on social media and write that because that's not where I need to say it. But I see kids happy, I see things different that are going on. But I think if we all work together and supported each other, even if we don't like one another, we're doing it for the greater good of our kids, and then maybe we would be better for it. Because again, outside of school, we don't all love who we work with. But we put our differences aside and we do what's right. So if we really cared about the kids, we would do what's right. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's my name again. Can I talk again? I very much disagree with what you just said. I will say this, change is hard. It was hard for all of us. There has been some delay in adjustments that were frustrating for some of the staff. That being said, with time, things are improving. And I mean that honestly from the staff perspective. They did just discuss all the issues that I am having. The issues that I discussed are the issues I continue to still have. That being said, it's hard change. And yes, that was a hard transition for us. But the staff at Hazelwood School is wonderful. They are wonderful. We are passionate, caring staff, and yes, they are all my friends. But we are a unified staff. And we supported our old principal. And what is wrong with that? There's nothing. It was us being respectful and supportive of our administration. And a decision was made, and that was hard for us. But there's nothing wrong with supporting your administrator. And that's what we did. And we are not resisting supporting this administrator. Excuse me?
I'm sorry, okay, I'm just gonna stop everybody there. You can continue, but I'm just gonna quickly say this. This is a public comment session for the public to address the board. We're not going to address each other because we're not gonna let things get out of hand and there will not be disrespect in this room. So I just wanna make that clear. You can continue.
And my point is, if you spoke to her, I have been nothing, and our staff has been nothing but respectful. And if there is something that came across disrespectful, it was misinterpreted, and that is what I was trying to say up here before. We are respectful staff that are there for the children. And listen, my son was in the hospital for a week. And if my son's going into the hospital in the ICU, I'm gonna be by his bedside. I would assume you would all be there too. He's my world, my kids are my world, and I will be there with them. But those children that I teach, I love, and I've taught so many of your children. I love them. I still love them now. I am so sad to hear the comments that I just heard. That hurt me so deeply. It doesn't represent us. It doesn't. We are a wonderful, wonderful staff that sometimes maybe can get too passionate. But we are there for those children, that we are there for your children. I was there for her children, and I still am, and we still all are. I love our school, and I 100% stand by them and support them. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Matthew Melchior. I live on 312 Rathvale Ave. The last time I spoke at a Board of Ed meeting, it was to speak on Mr. John Keelia, a great principal, great person, and great role model who was taken from his spot, which was wrong. Tonight, I'm here to speak about the teacher's contract. As a former Middlesex High School student, it amazes me how the teachers in our district are being treated. I am lucky enough to say that I've had a lot of these teachers in our district from kindergarten through 12th grade, and they were all amazing teachers and people. They are people who come to school before it starts and stay after it ends and put their time in on the weekends too. I can actually make this statement true because my mom's a teacher in the district and I see firsthand all of the time she puts in for her students. What bothers me is that most is when I see these amazing teachers standing outside on Route 28 in all types of weather rallying for you to settle their contract. To me, this seems very degrading and belittling to people who put their whole heart into what they do every day. What are you doing? I just want to share one thing that my college professor said this week that caught my attention. Failure and success are two of the hardest things for a leader to handle. It takes a great leader to admit their failure or mistakes, and they also know their failure and mistakes, and they try to fix them. On behalf of all of the wonderful teachers in our district, settle the contract now. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jamie Sperla. I live at 104 Greenlawn Ave. And I kind of feel in the middle of everybody. I'm one of the parents who moved to this town for school. I've been a little disappointed. I think the communication is not where it should be. I have a kindergartner, so I don't really have any basis to go off of how it used to be or what people think it should be. I just know that I feel that we should be communicated when things are happening. It's been multiple times where we found things out from Facebook, which is not a reliable source, everybody knows that, but for example, yesterday, a whole fire drill, I understand people make mistakes. You didn't trip the alarm, you didn't call it in, whatever, it's fine. But if I'm an hour away at work and I happen to open up Facebook, and the first thing I see is Pierce Fire Company number 3, 800 Hazelwood Ave activated fire alarm, and it happened 2 hours ago, what do? Immediately go to my email. No email, nothing, no communication, which seems right because, I'm a working parent, as most of us, I think all of us are. I work 3 jobs. I was looking forward to camp. Missed the cutoff for summer camp, didn't get the email. Why didn't I get the email? I don't know. My daughter's father email was the primary email. I don't know how, he's never even been in ProCare. If I was in a contentious relationship with him, that could be a problem. Thankfully, we have an amicable relationship, but if I was not in a good place with him, how do I know that other things weren't sent to him? If I sign up for something with my email, that should be what gets communicated. I just think there needs to be better organization with that. It's a little unnerving that if you're at the level where you are, if you're in charge of something, our personal information and things like that should be where they should be proper. What else did I miss out on is basically what I'm getting on. That's it.
Thank you.
Excuse me, I have to admit, you speaking up for?
Yeah, I was going to. You're gonna miss it?
You can let me know.
I may take long enough for you to come back. Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Friedman, members of the board for allowing me to speak. Mr. Nicolay is my neighbor, so that's why you say that. I want to start off with the gentleman in the back made it so eloquent about talking about these teachers. You wouldn't see the emotion here if these teachers didn't care. I think you all know that. They deserve a contract. Many of these teachers, I know personally, I've worked with them. And I can see how much they care. I've been in their classrooms, I've seen how organized they are. This contract needs to be done because it is going to hurt the children. I think we all know that. Grades suffer. I have in front of me the proficiency rate for federal accountability for the high school. English language, 2022, 2023 was 45.3% proficient at the high school level. In 23, 24, that went up, very good. It went up to 53.6. I would like to know from the board where we think the numbers are for this year. I know you're not going to answer that question. Now, in terms of math proficiency, as you know, I'm a numbers guy. Math proficiency in 22, 23 was at 26.8% proficient in high school math. That number went from 23, 24 to 15.7. I don't blame these teachers. What I do blame is the things that are going on, the outside things, like lack of a contract. I would like to also know where that number is for this year. I don't know if that measure, I'm sure that measure has been taken or it will be taken in the next couple of weeks. I trust our math department, I really do. I know how much work they put into it. I've seen some of the work that they do. So I would hope that our leaders, our people that plan curriculum, like, not the joker, what's his name again? Tom. That you're getting with them and they're getting with these teachers and figuring it out. One of the distractions in our society today, some of you are not going to like this, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are a merit-based society, a meritocracy. You go for DEI, you go for a C, you go for average. Where do things go if you shoot for average? They go average or below. If you shoot for merit and you shoot for the A, students will learn, they will learn to meet that level. They may not everyone's going to get an A, depending on what you're interested in, but they will shoot for a higher grade. So we are a merit-based society. I went on your website, under departments, under, under departments and under curriculum. There is a webpage that says diversity, equity, and inclusion. We didn't have that back in my day. I'm not saying it was right or wrong, but we handled things. We talked to people. We were based on merit. We were striving to be good. I would like that removed. You have Michelle to do it in 5 minutes. I would also like to know, I would assume that's Mrs. Powers' department. I would assume that's teachers training. I would also assume that that can go into assemblies with students. I don't know if you are aware of this. President Donald Trump signed executive orders on diversity, equity, and inclusion. We're a meritocracy. I would like that removed. I would hope you consider that. And get these teachers their salaries, make it work. They are worth it for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
one of the things, Dr. Freeman, thank you for answering the questions. I'm going to refer them to the mayor and council. Thank you. Oh, please post it on the website here. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to make a quick statement. When I moved to Middlesex, I was in 6th grade. And it was kind of one of the stablest places we had been because my father worked for the government, so we moved every 2 years all over the East Coast. So the one thing that I can remember about being in Middlesex was everybody knew everything about everything that you ever did. And I could not wait when I became a senior to get the hell out of this town because I was so sick of everybody knowing everything and my parents knowing everything that I did. And Mr. Diskin saying, you know, I'm gonna knock on your father's door and tell him, you know, you went to McDonald's. And I mean, that's the way that I grew up. Then I got married and I said to my husband, he's from North Carolina, I'm not going that way. I said, so we have to come this way. So he said, all right, well, I like Middlesex. Why don't we look at Middlesex? Okay. So we found a house, 3 houses away from my parents, which was perfect for me. And when we had our kids, the one thing that I thought of was, oh my God, I'm really glad my kids are going to go to Middlesex. Because now I will know everything that my kids do, right? So I'm like, you know, like they'll tell me if they're smoking, they're gonna, you know, I'm gonna get phone calls. My neighbor's gonna tell me when they're skipping school, like I know what's gonna happen. And it did. People did tell me, and you know, you have to handle it. Then, when my kids grew up, they couldn't wait to get out of this town because they were so sick of everybody knowing everything they did. Of course, I didn't tell them that because I was like, oh, Middlesex is great. But now they live in Middlesex and they have kids. So they know now how I feel about Middlesex. Middlesex is small but mighty town. The one thing is we stick together. You will hear it all the time. There'll be arguments about stuff, but you go to a bar and you'll see them at the bar and you know, you're sitting there remembering things or talking about things that happened. Everybody is very close. And when I was on the school board, and I went to convention one year, and I was sitting with other school board people, and they asked where I was from, and I said Middlesex Borough. And they said, oh, you guys are called the hidden gem of New Jersey. And I'm like, yeah, they're right. We are the hidden gem of New Jersey. We are small, but we have a very good school system. And we always have had a very good school system. But now there's such a division about things and about the way people feel about things. But I don't think it's changed that you want what's best for the kids. And being on the board, I know, and even though it was a long time ago, those things don't change. You're still devoting the amount of time that you devote, and you're still looking at the things you have to look at and deciding about what's best for the kids. It doesn't mean if you don't agree with it, that you sit there and you say yes. It means if you don't agree with it, you sit there and you say no. Go back to the drawing board and come up with something else. Because you don't all have to agree with stuff, okay? But, you know, after, the school boards was here last night doing a demonstration. You guys should have been here, it's pretty interesting. And there has been a lot of things that have changed. But the one thing that she had said was that you should make sure that people have your school address. And I tell you, people don't have your school address. I am not gonna go on the school website and email you guys, because I'm not going to go into another website with my information, because you have to sign up. Well, I don't belong to Google, so I don't wanna sign up with Google. But you can't find your email anywhere, because then it can't be CC'd or BCC'd to somebody, okay? All I'm saying is, there's no reason in the world why you can't have an email address on the school website. To me, it's ridiculous. There should be an email for every single one of you. That doesn't mean that people can email you and be ready or whatever like that. I don't agree with that, but they should be able to contact you if they want to. And I think that should be remedied right away. I wanted to clarify something about, there was a comment made about the community school, that when this community school started in Middlesex, which I was a part of, it started under my watch and Mr. Coyle's watch and Luann Smith's watch and Rosemary Walsh, for those of you who remember her. It was started to be run as a subsidiary of the school. It would be contained with their own, like if they were doing cookies with mommy, you had to make sure you charged what it cost to do that to the person that was doing it and how many you had, and there had to be a limit. And if you were doing a trip, you had to make sure that it was self-sustained. Not once was the Middlesex School Board ever paying to take care of the community school. Community school was formed to have things go on in the community that could be run through the school, that the school could then get the money, and if there was a profit at the end of the year, it got added onto the school budget to help alleviate some of the money, so we wouldn't have to increase this much, or we could buy extra things for the school. Not once was it ever paid from the school budget. There was a line item on the school budget, but I believe it still is. But we didn't subsidize it. So whoever is doing it now, and I don't know how it's run now, but there was a comment made that this is the first time that it's being subsidized on its own. It's wrong. It was never, ever subsidized by the Middlesex School Board. That's the first thing.
We're well over 6 minutes at this point.
Yeah.
Most people got to talk more than 6 minutes.
The only other person that went over 6 minutes was Missy. Everyone else was under 6.
All right, well, I'll
We
get
have
up
a
again.
3 minute,
I'll wait.
3 minute for up to 2.
Yes, 2 topics.
It
was the community school and the email addresses on the website.
Oh, all right.
Hi everyone. My name is Angela Opeka, or Miss Opeka as my students call me. I was advised to not speak tonight, but because I am a new teacher, but we teach our students to advocate for themselves, and I practice what I preach, and I don't want to be afraid to advocate for myself. I teach at Woodland. I teach 5th grade ELA resource room at Woodland. I am a teacher, but I am also a therapist and sometimes a mother figure for some of these kids.
Sorry.
First of all, I love all of my colleagues that I work with. I was welcomed with open arms. This is the greatest group of women I've ever had in my life, this greatest support group I've ever had in my life. And then I love my students as well. Like I treat them, I'm only 23, but I treat them like they're my own kids. So because I teach special ed as well, I spend hours modifying the curriculum at home to address like their individual needs. They all have so many different needs that it's not written in the curriculum for me. I spend my own money on my students, and I'm happy to because they deserve it. Many of them don't have pencil cases or pencils or folders or sometimes even winter coats. I've had to put money towards one of my students' winter coats because no child deserves that. And again, I love these kids like they're my own kids. And I will support them in any way that they need me to. And they know that I am their #1 supporter. I show up for them. I attend their sports events. Anything that they ask me to, I'm there. Even though sometimes their own parents don't show up, they know I am their #1 supporter. I work 3 jobs. I do not make a livable wage. Even though I did everything the right way, I went to high school. I am tens of thousands of dollars in debt because I went to college to get my degree like I was supposed to. That's what I was taught in school, that you have to go to college. And I've always wanted to be a teacher. But again, I did everything I was supposed to. I got a job right after I graduated. I did everything I was supposed to do, but I still can't afford rent. And I work 2 other jobs on top of this. Dr. Freeman, you held my hand and danced with me down this aisle during our new teacher orientation, and I will never forget that. I will never forget going back to the new people I just met and saying, I love it here, this sense of community. This is why I chose Middlesex and why I wanted to work here. So the way I felt that day feels a little bit different from how I feel today. I wish that me and all of my colleagues would feel that same support that I felt that day coming in. And one last thing, I remember during my final interview, I was handed my contract to sign, but was told that, we still haven't settled the contract. My salary number would go up, don't worry. I was like, okay, I'm just wondering when that will happen for us, because I don't want to leave here. I love it here. I love my kids. I love my community. I love my colleagues. These are my sisters and my own mother figures here. And that's all. Just for us. Please settle. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do I have to say? 2 things?
Yes, 2 topics, yeah.
Okay, I was here last night, and I didn't know that there wasn't gonna be another open session. Of course, I was late last night, I came tonight. So, the budget. I don't know what you said tonight, but last night you explained how, it was only $10 more a year per taxpayer.
On average.
On the average, is it a month or a year?
A month.
A month, okay.
On average.
$120 a year.
Yeah, on average, based on the average home value.
I have no problem paying it, okay? My car insurance went up more than that, okay? So I don't have any problem paying that. I have a problem sometimes with the way this money is done in the district, and that's why I have a problem. And I know you guys, it's a funny game when you sit out here and listen to it, because I'm thinking, it's a game, like, okay, well, we could have gone over, but we didn't go over. And like, if you don't go over the 2% you're allowed to go over, then maybe they won't give you 2% next year. You know, so I feel like it's a game between the school systems and the state, which is okay if you gotta play the game. But play the game for the benefit of the students and not the benefit of some unnecessary spending that I think happens in this district. Just my comment, okay?
Yeah, and I mean, if you have specific examples of that, the spending that you're concerned about, you can definitely send it.
Okay, well, and you know what, they could be little things, like I know Laura brought up before about the stage for graduation and you rent these gowns for the teachers that walk up. I don't know, they're called something, I don't know what they're called. But, yeah. So like, to me, that's unnecessary spending. We're talking high school graduation. They all love to walk across the football field. It's not a big deal. Yeah, it's $10,000. But I also heard from somebody that there may have been a contract on that for several years. So now we're stuck in, now I don't want to, you know, but unfortunately that's how we find things out, you know, through social media or whatever. I don't know if it's true or not, Dr. Freeman, you can clarify for me if you'd like to send me an email if it's true or not. But I had heard there was some kind of contract on it for the next 3 years. So, I mean, so I'm just saying that's like $10,000 that maybe could have gone to something else. Maybe to a sports program or maybe, I don't know, to the kids. To me, a stage to walk across on graduation is not for the kids. To show, my opinion. But I appreciate that you kept it at 2% because I don't know if we would have voted any higher. But again, and when we do find things, we'll come to the board and we'll say, and I hope you would appreciate the fact that we took the time to come up here. And maybe they're unnecessary, or you think maybe $10,000 isn't that much, but several $10,000s adds up. So the second comment I have is with the calendar. I don't know when in this district we started saying it's okay to finish school in the 3rd or 4th week of June. I have a problem with that. And I did today spend some time pointing out other school districts' calendars. And I'm just curious to know if you do that as a board. Do you look at other calendars? And why are we now going till the 23rd, 24th, 25th of June? That's like, to me, the beginning of July. So that's one part of my calendar statement. The next thing is, there's 2 classrooms in Hazelwood that don't have air conditioning. Just 2. Every other classroom has air conditioning. And my granddaughter's in one of them. They come out of that classroom sweating to death. So I would like to propose to Dr. Freeman, if she could please look into getting those 2 classrooms and air conditioner, since we've got to go to school till the end of June. And it's been extremely hot this week. I'm sure everybody had their air on this week, except for those 2 classrooms. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thompson. I just have one quick question. I sent several emails. I just wondered if you could please tell me who's in charge of the marquee advertising in front of the high school? Anybody have an answer?
The principal, the high school principal.
High school principal. Okay, so I sent several emails to the superintendent. I didn't get any answer, and the reason I sent the email was because a lot of people don't go on the website to look at things. People driving around though always can read things that are out in front of the high school. So I appreciate that you put on there to join the swim pool. I appreciate that you put on there to the Victor Kroll Park cleanup committee, but I felt it was very important to put the budget hearing meeting on that board, and also maybe to put the regular Board of Ed meetings so people will be aware when they take place. Just a little more communication with the town with what's going on.
Thank you. Okay. Are you coming back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just wanted to, Cheryl Fargus, I wanted to talk about what was talked about with the policy last night about being held liable if things are mentioned. I don't know if you could read that again, but it's basically if we the public say anything against anybody's staff or board or superintendent or anything like that, that we could be held liable and that they could sue us. But
Not also, not the board can sue you.
well, it talks about what the staff.
If you're defaming somebody else, they have legal rights to do whatever they want. We weren't saying the board can, that's not what the policy says. It doesn't say the board can sue.
Oh, so you individually, if you find it inflamming, then you could. Somebody got.
No. If somebody comes up and speaks on a staff member in a derogatory way, that staff member has legal rights where they can go and get a lawyer and say there was defamation of character or something like that. That policy is just saying we're not responsible for that. That's on the staff member. They have legal rights, and we're just letting the public know that if you say something derogatory about a staff member, that staff member can then go through legal channels. So it's just letting people know that.
Right, and that also goes for the public. So if somebody says something to somebody, like referencing something publicly, or through a text message or messenger or something like that, that could go the other way as well.
Well, who are we referring to? Are we referring to
not
board
gonna
members?
mention it.
No, I mean, are we saying board members, or are we saying board members to the public?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess everybody has legal rights, so.
That's the way the world
All
Everyone has
individuals
basic-
have personal rights to take whatever actions to the extent they think they have been defamed, regardless.
My name is Jessica Newton. I'm here to support my fellow friends on the Hazelwood. I'm here as a lunchie. I'm here as a mom. I'm here as a taxpayer too. All I have to say is that I will say that our morale has been down at school. I feel like our teachers have come together. I feel like as a parent, I'm very proud to be a parent at Hazelwood. I'm very proud to know that when my kid goes to school every day and he had a very bad problem, Mrs. Lewis, Mrs. Gottner, even Mr. Dinkwitz and Chris Navlon and all of my fellow workers, friends, have been there for my son. As an employee, gave me guidance when I felt the morale, maybe it was low at school, and maybe I didn't want to come to work because I didn't know if I should be a parent or a worker at the time. I'm also put in a very hard position as a lunchie. I'm a lunchie going into working in classrooms of disability and watching these teachers work so hard, and it just upsets me. It's not the principal. This is bigger than the principal. I don't have an issue with Dr. Clark-Holmes. I think she's great. I can't say that I haven't had a bad experience. I also haven't had a bad experience with Mr. G. I'm not here as a principal regarding the principals. I know that I had problems in the beginning where not getting my kid what they needed for their services. I was upset. I was told what to do and what I need to do. I addressed those issues. I gave it time. I waited for a response. I got my response from the principal. When I go to work, I feel comfortable. I feel I want to be there. I used to get sick to my stomach. All I can say is that please give them a contract and get us the support we need for special education, because I'm a lunch aide and I don't mind going into the classroom and I love those kids. And like all these teachers say, they give their money, they give their coats, whatever they need, and I will do the same. And I get paid nothing. And I do it because I want to get out of the house and I love these kids and I love these teachers. And all I have to say is, please just give a contract. And I have no problems with the principal and she's doing the best that she can. But things need to change and I'm so sick to see these kids suffer. And my son has gone through counselor after counselor also, and that's another thing. Get our kids a counselor that's going to stay and not play games. They need a counselor. My son felt like he wanted to hurt himself, and I had nobody to go to. And the people that came and helped is Dr. Clark Holmes. I did address it. And my fellow people that I work with helped me. And thank you, Miss Lewis, wherever you are. And thank you, Mrs. Mandara, for always sticking up for my Sophia since kindergarten. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carolyn Mother, MA. I wasn't going to talk tonight. Sometimes I think it's better to hear from people other than me. And I'm amazed by my colleagues and their emotion that they brought tonight and their positivity despite everything we're going through. But I usually come to this podium and I try to smile and I try to be positive and I try to know that we're working together, and I can't be that way tonight. And I did want to be the last one to speak tonight because I want what I say to be the last thing you hear before we meet Monday night. I spoke to you months ago about what's going on in the education field. I spoke to you about experiences that I've had on the NJEADA when people are laughing at this town that we can't settle a contract. I mentioned that the only people that have not settled a contract in Middlesex County was North Brunswick, which I believe was also represented by the Bush Law Group. They saw an exodus of 84 people because of the lack of being able to settle it. Now, I didn't ever want to believe that that was going to happen in this town. And the reason that I needed to speak to you tonight is because today alone, I had 2 people contact me about resigning. It's starting. It's not worth staying in a town where you don't have stability, and people don't want to come to a town where you don't have stability. And we're not asking for anything more than what our colleagues in other districts have gotten. So before we all come to the table on Monday, we've got to be willing to take steps forward to each other. I just ask that you think about that this weekend. We've got a lot of work to do on Monday, and I hope it's successful.
Okay, we will now close the public comment portion of the meeting. We don't have a need to go into executive session. Does anybody have, any board members have anything else? Okay, then I'd like to make a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Aye.